Yeah, I just want to make sure that whoever, there's 3 people inside right now.
I'm here next week, Susan.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Barry, always.
Hello, Vicky.
Only stay like 25 minutes, but I wanted to come anyway.
Perfect.
Yeah, at least I'll see some of it.
Absolutely. Perfect. Good that you are.
Check, check.
Sam, I have to say, you have the best memory for names. You're so good. I think you outdo me. I work at doing that, and I think you got me. Very impressive. It's all good. It's all. la 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 la. La 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 la. Three words in Hebrew: Olam, Chesed, Yibaneh. Olam, a world of Chesed, of kindness, you will build. Olam, Chesed, Yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. La 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 la. Pray it as if it's possible. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya la 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 la.
I will build this world from love.
I will build this world from love. La 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 la. And you must build this world from love. Ya la 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 la.
And if we build this world from love,
and if we build this world from love, ya la 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 la, then God will build this world from love. Ya la 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 la. Shabbat, take a breath. And notice what you need to release. And be mindful of what you're reaching for and hoping for on this Shabbat. 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love the source is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love HaShekhinah is to love the world that God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. As we turn to 128, just swivel in your chair and smile, greet, welcome someone that you didn't walk in with. You matter. We are so grateful that you are here this evening. And for those who are joining us virtually, please reach for the PDF of our Siddur Mishkan Tefillah as we open this space on what a blessing it is to dwell together. 128. One 120, bringing the light in, recognizing that angels walk here on earth in our midst, recognizing that when Jacob set up his ladder, putting his head on the earth, the angels began on earth and moved up and down, recognizing that you too may be an angel with a role to reach out to another person here on earth to bring the divine. 120. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. 129. Opening your hearts toward what's possible, to the intimacy of this day, to a sense of love, kindness, and the sacred.
2 or 3.
Must have been at least 100 years. I must have cried an ocean of tears. Wandered through the coldest, darkest night. You were waiting for me there, a spark of light. Forever is a long, 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 long time. My beloved, I am yours, and you are mine. Dozili, Ba'ani lo haroeh, Ba'shoshani. Never seen the colors quite so bright. I never held another quite so tight. Never felt my heart could fly away. I can't believe I get to be with you every single day. Forever is a long, 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 long time. My beloved, I am yours, and you are mine.
that will definitely put you in a Shabbos mood. For me, Shabbat is all about the things that are most dear to me, that I most love. It is about my partner, my husband, my children. It is about you, my shul, my congregant, my kihila. It is about showing up to that place of fullness and love. 138 and 139, paragraphs 1 and 2, 5 and 9. Making room in our hearts for all that choose to be with us. As we reach the 9th paragraph, we will stand and face the entrance to the Beit Knesset, welcoming everyone in to fill this space of love.
Lecha dodi lekat kalai, yalalai, 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 Shabbat, lekabela.
Lecha dodi lekat kalai, yalalai, 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 Bnei Shabbat, lekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Adonai echad u'shemo el hamiuchad, Adonai echad v'letila, l'shem u'tiferet v'letila. Lecha dodi lehikat kala, yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Bnei Shabbat, lekabela. Lecha dodi lehikat kala, yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Bnei Shabbat, lekabela. Shabbat, lechu v'necha, ki megor habracha, merosh mikedem esucha, sof maaseh b'machshavat tchila, lecha dodi lekat kala, yalalai, 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 Bnei Shabbat, lekabela. Lecha dodi lekat kala, yalalai, 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 Bnei Shabbat, lekabela. Paragraph 5. Alayich megila, lecha dodi lekrat kala, yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Shabbat, lekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Bnei Shabbat, lekabela. Boi v'shalom, ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'v'tohala, vochem chemnei am segula, boi kala, lecha dodi lehikat kala, yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Shabbat, lekabela. Lecha dodi lehikat kala, yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Shabbat, 144. Letting the rhythm of the ancient words rock you into a place of sacred kahal, sacred community.
Yitkada v'yitkada shmei Rabba.
Amen. Be'alma divrach hirute, v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala, ba'agala, Uvizman kahariv ve'imeru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam ul'almei olmaya yitbarach yitbarach ve'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei tekudesha berichu le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran ve'alma ve'imru. Amen. 146, facing Yerushalayim, calling one another into formal worship, making connection with our people everywhere. .148, marveling at day and night, light and darkness, and the ability to move between the day and the night, the light and the darkness, the all of life. La 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 ya la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim ma'ariv aravim bechokma poteach sharim uvitvuna mishaneh etim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakochavim b'mishmeroteichem barakia bitzono yadai lai 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 yadai 150, Ahavat Olam. Mary Oliver teaches about this infinite love. My work is loving the world. Here the sunflowers, there the hummingbird, equal seekers of sweetness. Here the quickening yeast, there the blue plums, here the clam deep in the speckled sand. Are my boots old? Is my coat torn? Am I no longer young and still half perfect? Let me keep my mind on what matters, which is my work, which is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished. The phoebe, the delphinium, the sheep in the pasture, and the pasture, which is mostly rejoicing since all the ingredients are here, which is gratitude. To be given a mind and a heart, and these body clothes, a mouth with which to give shouts of joy to the moth and the wren, to the sleepy dug-up clam, telling them over and over how it is that we will live forever. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha Vishnantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha Ukavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha Adonai Elohechem emet. I wanted to take a few minutes to focus on this prayer, the Shema, this evening. You know the Shema. You can say out loud what it is. It's an affirmation of our faith. It's an affirmation of oneness. The Shema comes from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7, last week's portion. The Shema in the Torah is written with an enlarged ayin, a small shin, a small mem, an enlarged ayin. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And the word echad, aleph, chet, daled, is written with an enlarged daled. Take the enlarged ayin and the enlarged daled and put them together. And you have the word aid, which means to be witness. It's interesting because the Mishnah teaches that in addition to praying daily, that's a mitzvah, there's another mitzvah, which is to say the Shema morning and night. The Shema is one of our prayers. Praying daily is a responsibility. Saying the Shema morning and night is yet another mitzvah, another obligation. Well, you notice that we stand when we say the Shema. And some of you may hearken back to the Orthodox communities that you have prayed in, or the conservative, and you remember that Orthodox and some conservative sit during the Shema. What you may not know is in its most original form, following temple times, everybody stood for the Shema. And when did it change? It changed in the 9th century. And it shifted because the rabbis were reacting to the Karaite sect. They were those who said, we don't recognize oral law, all we recognize is in the Torah. And the rabbis, in their response to that, changed the fact that we stood for the Shema and made us sit. And that stuck all the way until World War II. Following World War II, Reform and some conservative synagogues felt it was time to go back to the original tradition of standing for the Shema, to be an aid, to be a witness not just in my mind, and not just in my heart, but with my entire being. Well, for this opportunity of learning, let's talk about yet another tradition. It is traditional to weave the tzitzit, the fringes of your talit, around your left hand, and to bring that hand to your head, and to close your eyes so that you can be fully vested in prayer when saying the Shema. Why your left hand? It's closest to your heart, bringing your heart to this observance. It's also traditional that when you are praying the third paragraph of the Shema and the word tzitzit gets said, that you bring the tzitzit, which means to glimpse, to your mouth, to show your intention, like a kiss. What are we glimpsing from the limitation of my talit? I am glimpsing off into eternity. Take the number 8. There are 8 fringes on each corner of the talit. Take the number 8. Turn it sideways, and you have an infinity sign. When I pray the Shema, I glimpse lahatzitz, tzitzit, toward the sacred one. It's also a tradition when saying the second verse of the Shema, Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed, to say it in a hushed voice, a quieter voice. Why? To differentiate between the Shema that comes from Torah and Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed, which comes much later. It's not in Torah, it's from prophets. But even more than that, that was a guttural response in temple times when the Shema was said. The people would respond, Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed, to distinguish divine word and our response. Well, I wanted to choose to speak about this prayer tonight as we prayed the Shema Ubirchoteha and her blessings, because some of you who have prayed in Orthodox or conservative shuls may have noticed that the Shema and its blessings, or most specifically its blessings, the 3 paragraphs after the Shema, are different in our shul, in Reform synagogues, than they are in Orthodox or conservative synagogues. So let me share with you. The Shema, which you know, Deuteronomy 6:4, is followed by the Ve'ahavta in Deuteronomy 6:5-9. Ve'ahavta, that Alexandra chanted for us, Ve'ahavta, and you shall love. The idea that you should bring love to Adonai Elohecha, to the source. In Mishnah Brachot 2:2 in the Talmud, it says the first paragraph following the Shema, Deuteronomy 6, verse 5-9, is about Kabbalat Ol Hashamayim, receiving the acceptance of the yoke of heaven, the acceptance of the divine, the acceptance of love from the divine, for the divine, and for the world that God created. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart. You shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you go out, when you lie down, when you wake up. You shall teach them to your children. Ve'ahavta is how we live with love, how we bring love into the world. We talk, we teach. They shall be upon not just your heart and your lips, but on the mezuzot of your home. These words of love should grace your very home and your being. Write them as a sign upon your head, and let them be upon your arm, and let them be for frontlets before your eyes. Wrap tefillin, says the Ve'ahavta, the first of 3 paragraphs of the Shema and its blessings. And what of the second paragraph? The second paragraph is Deuteronomy 11:13-21, that appears in this week's portion, Parshat Eikev. I will come back to that second paragraph in just a moment. That's the paragraph that does not appear in your Reform Siddur. And what of the third paragraph? That's from Numbers, chapter 15, 37-41. And there we have this beautiful passage about wearing tzitzit, and for you to know, even though it doesn't appear on Friday night, for my Saturday morning goers, we pray it together. I sometimes do it with you in Hebrew, Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor. I sometimes do it with you in English. Adonai said to Moses as follows, speak to the Israelite people and instruct them to make for themselves tzitzit, fringes on the corners of their garments throughout the ages. Let them attach a cord of blue to the tzitzit at each corner. And we are told to look at the fringe and to recall all of the commandments of Adonai and to observe them as a way of being in the world. That third paragraph, we, the Reformed congregation, do pray on Saturday morning. So you may ask, how come we don't pray it on Friday night? What do you think? Sorry? Oh, thought you were giving me an answer. Anybody? Traditionally, Friday night, you do not wear a talit. So I wear a tzitzit, a talit katan, a small talit, different than my big talitot that I wear tomorrow. I wear it just to say to you, I take this responsibility of being your shaliach tzibur, your rabbi, seriously. I take this and I wear it Friday night to make certain that you feel comfortable that I've taken this responsibility of leading you seriously. But tomorrow morning, I will wrap myself fully in my talit and I will say the third paragraph. Has this always been for the Reform movement? What do you think? Did the Reform movement always, this is how I went at this, did the Reform movement never have the 3 paragraphs? I also didn't tell you why they didn't. So let me just say first, in 1819 in Hamburg, the first Reform prayer book was written, was edited. And it had all 3 paragraphs, just as tradition has it. In 1948 in Berlin, think about this, 1948 in Berlin, the second 2 paragraphs were totally omitted. Only the first paragraph was kept in. Do your history. 1948 in Berlin. Hold that history when I talk to you about that second paragraph. I think it's important to know that the Reconstructionist Mordecai Kaplan also deleted the second of the 3 paragraphs. So it's not just the Reform, the Reconstructionist Jews also deleted it. The Reconstructionist movement replaced it with another paragraph, Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 6, which is much easier to the psyche. And in the newest Reconstructionist prayer book, they give you the traditional and the alternative. Okay, so let's talk about that second of the 3 paragraphs. And what is it? Well, if the first was all about loving, the second is about what we call Kabbalat ol mitzvot, the responsibility of the yoke, the obligation of commandments. Well, first of all, Reform Jews in the 1800s did not see themselves as responsible for living a life of mitzvot according to the Orthodox Read. We always said we're informed by mitzvot, but we are not living as shomrei mitzvah, keepers of the mitzvah. In fact, we don't observe many of the mitzvot. The rabbis from the Reform movement spoke about something else, and they said, look, in the second paragraph, in Deuteronomy 11, 13 through 21, the last half of that section just repeats what we already said in the Ve'ahavta. It repeats, and you shall bind them as a sign upon your arm, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. Look, we want shorter services. Don't you always tell me that? We want shorter services. Why should we repeat these words twice? We don't have to repeat it. But what about the first part of the second paragraph? This I need you to buckle in for. The second paragraph, Deuteronomy 11, verse 13, says, V'haya, and if you obey my commandments, then I will grant you rain for your land. If you obey my commandments, then there will be grass for your cattle. If you obey my commandments, you will eat your fill and you will be satisfied. The implication being, if you don't follow my commandments, then you're in trouble. If you don't follow my commandments, there's a reward and there's punishment, and the punishment will surely be yours. So let me be straight with you. You know me, I love tradition, and I'm comfortable praying the first, the second, and the third paragraphs of the Shema, but I too struggle with reward and punishment in the traditional sense. I do not believe that if something difficult or terrible or tragic or hard happens to you, it's because you did something. And I'm going to go one farther. I don't believe the rabbis believe that either. But that's what the text says. And the Reform movement, in its wisdom, didn't want to say words that we did not align with. It's okay to hearken back to tradition. It's okay to honor a new Reformed tradition. It's always important to understand what changed and why it changed. What can this second paragraph bring us if it's not going to be the traditional reward and punishment? Because we know that good people suffer. And we know that bad people seemingly sometimes seem to reap rewards, and they continually do foolish shtikim that is below them. I believe that this passage asks us to reach for a higher level of reward. A reward that requires that we understand that all people are responsible for their behavior, that the Torah is central to how we live and who we are, and that ultimately wealth, goodness, rewards are deeper than superficial material rewards, that blessings come when we hold ourselves responsible for Torah and that way of life. If the first paragraph, ve'ahavta, is about love, and the second paragraph is the responsibility of mitzvot, the rabbis like to talk about it this way. The love is an individual responsibility, but mitzvot is a communal responsibility. Ve'ahavta is how I need to be when I greet each and every one of you, when I greet my own family, when I do my work. But the second paragraph about reward and responsibility brings us to something deeper. Some have likened it to this idea that if we take responsibility for caring for this earth, then we will have a sustainable earth. But if we turn our heads and our hearts and we just lust after our own power, this earth will not be sustainable for us. Suddenly, the words of Torah are prophetic. If you think about the way that we are going in 2022? 2022. 5782, I know. If we would honor the people that walk on this earth, we would recognize that there is actually enough to feed all people on earth. And yet, We have not created a society, a human society, where we prioritize feeding those who are hungry. Perhaps we should be looking at the Ve'ahavta as my personal commitment to bringing love into the world, and the second paragraph of the Shema, Deuteronomy 11:18 through 21, as our communal responsibility for the world. Next week's portion opens with these words, Re'eh, look, I have set before you this day a blessing and a curse. We're taught this over and over. I've put before you life and death, a blessing and a curse. Choose life. Choose the blessing so that you will have life. Choose life so that you can live. What is the source of life? What are the sources of blessings and goodness? I think the Torah is inviting us to see the one, God, faith, love, and an elevated way of living in this world, mitzvot, as a way toward blessings, toward life, toward sustaining this earth of ours. Page 240, partnering with the divine to bring about change.
Adonai, who is like you, Adonai, ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh nora tehilot Oseh Felen, Nora Tehilot, Oseh Felen. You can do this one, lai lai. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Malchutecha ravu banecha, okei hayam lenifnomeu Miriam. Zeili anu ve'amru. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la
162 more than the Jewish people have kept Shabbat. Shabbat has kept the Jewish people Achad Ha'am. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat, lidorotam, berit olam, berit olam, beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam, beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat, Shabbat, vayinafash ali uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam, beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti leolam, v'shomeru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat, לדורוlam, berit olam, berit olam. 164 in an envelope marked personal. The source addressed me a letter in an envelope marked personal. I am giving my answer. Adonai, sifatei tiftach, ufi yagid tekilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. La la la. Lachash, in a whisper, find your prayers, the traditional prayer through 180. When you've completed what you bring this Shabbat, work your way back to your seats.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. 178.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki Atahu Melech Adon Shalom, Ki Atahu Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom, Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'kol עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Turning to page 371. I ask that our prayers this evening for healing go out to these loved ones of our congregation. Susan Bosch, Amelia Byers, Audrey Cohen, Angela DeMare, Phyllis Fillmore, Ellie Edelwitz, Ilona Johnson, Mary Les Strange, Margot Leverett, Ken Lyjak, Karen Martinez, Merle Perlmutter, Leah Rosen, Kahana Skalnick, Elaine Trott, Paul Tubin, Bev Ushko, and continued strength and healing for Lauren Petties. If there are other names that you would like to add when my eyes meet yours, if you're able, please stand. If not,
Celia, I understand. David, I understand. Corbin Doyle, Masha Rosen, and then Kenny Scherson.
thank you.
Alan Wright and the children house staff and residents.
Thank you.
Bill Jenkins,
Thank you.
Judy Polinsky,
Thank you.
Carol Evans,
Thank you.
Lori England, Sarah Snow.
Thank you. Holding them together with those that you are holding in your heart, we pray.
Mi shebeirach avotinu mikor habracha imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
I look forward to sharing all of my classes with you next week. Please look at the website to get information on the classes, but also because our new website should be up. If not today, then hopefully on Monday. Zemer will be rehearsing the musical offerings that they will be bringing to us on the high holidays. Rehearsals begin this Wednesday, August 24th at 6 p.m. Zemer is also participating in the Ukrainian benefit concert that will take place on September 11th at St. John's. I hope that you'll all be there. This we're doing together with our interfaith partners, and this is important. It looks like Jonathan may have closed all of the teachers for the RSD, the Learning Adventure, the religious school. But if you or anyone you know wants to be part of teaching, please reach out to him at minimum. He can put you on our substitute list. And certainly, if you know anyone who wants to be in our school, please send that information over to Synagogue and to Jonathan. Registration is ongoing for that. Sisterhood's annual paid-up dinner. Please pick up one of the flyers, both for the fundraiser, for the apples and honey, and if you'd like to be part of the paid-up dinner, reach out to Carmel Gold. Starting in Elul, we will be blowing shofar during the week whenever I have a class with you. And on Friday, pretending it's Friday morning, we'll do Friday before we light candles, beginning September 2nd. Alexandra and I wanted to already say to you, if you are someone who has your own shofar, start blowing on the 1st of Elul, because we hope that on Rosh Hashanah you will come up and blow with us as a group. Erev Slichot, September 17th at 7 p.m., Saturday night. Slichot, restorative justice as a path to forgiveness. I am so proud of the speakers that we have been bringing to synagogue. Shoshana Akua Brown is a social worker and a Kohenet, an ordained priestess. She's a black Jewish woman who grew up in an Orthodox girls' yeshiva and found her way to living her Judaism through restorative justice. She is so knowledgeable and so inspirational. This is only open to our congregation. We're not opening this beyond our congregation, just to our congregants. Please put September 17th on your calendar. You will learn so much and I think be touched deeply. Our Israel trip, we leave on, I'm pretty sure it's June 29th, not June 25th, but June 2023. June 2023. Pick up a flyer or go onto our website to see the itinerary and our ongoing efforts for humanitarian aid for Ukraine, the boxes that we have in the lobby and outside, as well as our initiative for food access and security for our neighbors are ongoing. Please be part of this. We change the world one effort at a time. We change the world as a community. And these are just some of the ways that we are devoting ourselves toward making a difference. Page 581. I used to be part of you, belong to you, the extension of your being, but now you live within me, are the spark of my consciousness. I say Kaddish for you, with you, as you. Sing your melodies, speak your words, hearing your voice in mine. And my eyes, too green, have somehow started to reflect the blue of yours. I used to be part of you, protected by your presence, by your light, but now the time is mine, and alone I must be more than myself. Your child has become your heir, has become you. If you have sustained a recent loss in the week, month, or during this past year, If you are in your observance of Shana, please stand at this time. Know that we are with all those who are walking that journey of grief. Together, those that are remembered in that fresh loss, so we weave the yahrzeits of loved ones who died in this season in years past. Dr. William Dean, Emmy Humberg, Ruth Heisman's mother, Richard M. Kalish, Harriet Levine Ciment, Cara Levine Brenner's aunt, Howard Mass, Sarah Mass, Joan Neary, Barbara Ronder's sister, Seligman Oppenheimer, Pauline M. Rosenbaum, Edith Satinsky, remembered by Kitty Satinsky, and Anne Spiesman. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Kaddish, Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, 598. It is our tradition to stand together with those who have sustained a loss, those who are remembering, and with the people of every race and nation who live their lives as a blessing to humanity. We affirm love, we affirm the sacred, we affirm goodness. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei decho beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'lalmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'tadar v't'aleh v't'halal shmei d'kudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol b'nei Adam v'imru, amen. 649, Havana Shira, Shir Hallelujah. Come, let's express a sense of joy. Havana Shira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. 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 Vayhi erev, vayhi voker, yom hashishi, vayecholu hashamayim ve'haaretz v'chol tzeva'am, vayechol Elohim bayom hashvi'i, melachto asher asa, vayishpot bayom hashvi'i, mikol melachto asher asa, vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i, vaykadesh oto, ki vo shavat mikol melachto, asher bara Elohim, לעשות סברי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן, אמן.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kohodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, cher liyitziat mitzrayim, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קדשת עם כל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. L'chaim, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to the source above. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. So take a moment to actually really greet the people close to you. And I want to just extend a big, big thank you, of course, always to my clergy partner, to Alexandra, but especially to Bob for his beautiful playing, and especially to Barry, who makes all of this possible every week, and to Rita, who bakes challah for us each week, and it's just delicious. So come, taste, and enjoy.